This third video will go over the intervention base information. We will look at accessing the information and adding new interventions, or modifying or adding to existing information. We will start by looking at existing base information. There are a few ways we can get there from the opening screen. We can double-click on the intervention name, and this is recommended for changing base information for an existing intervention. We can also click on the New Intervention button to take us to the intervention base screen. From there, we use the drop-down to navigate to the intervention of choice. I'll show it now. We click on that, and we go to the drop-down, look at an intervention, and here we go. If we simply want to see the intervention details in a report format and perhaps present the information to providers or CMS, or print the information, we would go to the Reports section on the opening screen control panel and select Community Interventions Reach. And here we have the intervention reach data that is provided to CMS in our reporting. We can we can print out the pages, and we can view the pages, send them to participants, and so on. After double-clicking on the intervention name on the home screen, we are then able to see the information for that intervention and alter it or add to it if necessary. For instance, if we have new information on special populations, we can enter it here. We'll go to this fictitious email adding intervention, double-click on that, and it's just a test. We see we have 1,222 bennies, and that number of bennies is reached. And we just found out last week that we have 275 dementia patients in this intervention. And we have some socioeconomic data here. And this, of course, is just test data. If we were facilitating a new intervention within an already existing community, we can click on the New Intervention button on the opening screen here. From here, we can manually enter the information or click the Request Data button to send a request for information via email to the selected QuinnQIO lead. And when they reply to the request, we can process the reply to automatically import the responses into the database. We'll go through the manual information on a new intervention. So here we go to that intervention page. And to manually enter the information, ensure we have a new blank. And we'll see here on the ID that the ID tells us that this is a blank page. The least amount of information that is required is the intervention name. So we can add a fictional name here. And we also need the community information. So we'll take this fictional new community to add a community, and we'll put in a QuinnQIO lead as myself. If this is all we have for information, then this is all we put. If we know that the start date was not today, this is defaulting today, but is mid-August, we can change that date to mid-August. And if we have no more information than that, this is what we will include in this intervention base. If we go back at some later time and know how many bennies we have or how many rural bennies we have in the fictional intervention, then we'll come back to this form and add it. We close out of the form and the data is saved. And if we refresh the screen, we'll see it is added here. New community to add a fictional name. So you saw on that form there was a space to enter as much base information as you have to provide to CMS reporting. And this is what this screen is essentially giving the base information for the community to inform CMS on who we are dealing with and how many venues are affected by our interventions. Finally, we'll go over the request data function in another video, but the process walks you through the sending and integrating responses. I'll take you to that request data button in a minute, but I want to give you the caveat that with this method there is limited functionality. So I would recommend not using the request data function at this time because there are some quirks to it. It works only if the information that's provided by the respondent is exact.